A year ago, I lost 9 pounds, cleared up my brain fog, and felt amazing during menopause. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how I'm feeling, what I'm still struggling with, what I've kept doing, and what I am doing now to keep the weight off. Hey everyone, this is Lisa. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Lisa Monique Beauty, where we cover all things beauty and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. Now, I want to start by saying my disclaimer that I am not a medical professional, I'm not a nutritionist, a doctor, or any other sort of health guru. I am just telling you my experience and hoping that maybe it might inspire some of you to start or continue with your own health journey, but please make sure you consult with your medical practitioner before you start any sort of diet or exercise program. So last year, I realized I was extremely addicted to sugar and decided to do a liver detox program to try and break that bond that kept me craving sugar and binge eating foods that I knew were not good for me. So I talk more about that in a video that I'll put up here on how I reduced my brain fog, because besides just breaking that sugar hold, in the process, I lost 9 pounds and also had extreme mental clarity, which I was not, well, I kind of was expecting. I had been reading or watching a lot of videos on how sugar affects the mind and how it's doing a lot of dementia and Alzheimer's searches and everything like that. And I saw that sugar was a culprit, and I knew I was just eating way, way, way too much sugar. So there was nothing real magical about the liver detox. It was really like whole foods type eating, just eating clean, eliminating processed food, sugar, gluten, dairy, pretty much everything except for your fruits, vegetables, and your protein sources. And then slowly you would start adding those back. I also combined that with intermittent fasting and daily walking. So I had great success with the program and managed to keep most of the weight off, except for I think about 1 or 2 pounds, depending. And over the holidays, I might have fluctuated about 3 pounds up. But I just decided that even though I was kind of falling into my old bad habits, and then after a week or two, I was kind of getting a grip on it and going back to the healthy eating, I felt like that was happening more and more frequent. And so I decided I really needed to do another spring detox to kind of reset everything and keep me on track. So this year I did a different detox program. It's the MegaEnergy program from the Nourishing Gurus, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on in this video. I will say that it is not a sponsored video. I'm not an affiliate. If you sign up for the link, I'm not making anything off my talking about their program, but it is just another alternative program if you are looking for something like I was to help you through this journey. So first of all, I wanted to tell you what changes that I did make last year and what I have kept doing, what has been surprisingly easy for me to continue to do over the last year. So again, I combined healthy eating habits with intermittent fasting and daily walks. So to this day, the first change that I still do is I don't eat after dinner. I don't eat after 7 p.m. It's extremely rare. I mean, I would think less than 10 times in the last year have I eaten something into the night, and usually that was if I was eating with friends, we're eating in a restaurant, and dinner, we went out to eat late, so dinner came late. But overall, it was a real simple change for me to make once I got used to it. So the first 2 weeks of detoxing, it was a little bit hard. I would kind of wander to the kitchen looking at the clock a lot. But once my body got used to not eating, in the evening, it became a lot easier for me. Now, I'm still not on a strict intermittent fasting. I will eat in the morning if I'm hungry. So last spring, my intermittent fasting window, it started out noon to 8 p.m. and then I shifted it to 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. because I found I really wasn't eating after 7. But if it's 9 a.m. and I'm hungry, instead of just looking at the clock, every 15 minutes, waiting around for it to be 11 o'clock so I can eat, I'll just eat at 9 in the morning. And I don't do that often. Usually I'm not hungry until 11 anyways, but I'm not so strict with that, but I'm pretty strict with the evening. Occasionally I'll walk and I'm just doing a mindless eating. I'm not really that hungry, and I'll go into that kitchen, and then I'll look at that clock and see it's 7:30, and I just turn around and the craving will go away. So that's one thing that I've managed to continue to do because before that, I was a 10 p.m. binger. I was a 10 p.m. box of crackers sitting on the couch or something sweet while I was watching TV or reading a book. I've also continued to avoid buying my trigger foods, which for me were cereal and ice cream. So I think I've purchased maybe 3 boxes of cereal in the last year. And every time I do, I will eat 1, 2, or even 3 bowls a day until it's gone. So I just cannot keep a cereal. And it doesn't have to be like Lucky Charms, which I love Lucky Charms. It's like Frosted Mini Wheats or Honey Bunches of Oats, which still are high sugar cereals under the guise of being a little bit healthier because you're getting your fiber. But yeah, I just can't. I can't buy them. Fortunately, my husband does not eat cereal, so it's easy to keep out of the house if I just don't purchase it. Also, I realized that I really don't throw in the towel when I go on an unhealthy binge. I have been able to get back onto, a more healthy eating program, even if it's been, 10, 12 days of unhealthy eating. There was a time last summer that I was on this cream cheese with pepper jelly binge. My sister-in-law had made it for all the cousins, my nieces and nephews, and I was late getting to the table and it was all gone by the time I wanted to get a cracker with some pepper jelly. So for about 2 weeks, 2 blocks of cream cheese, I was making myself a little sliver and putting a spoonful of pepper jelly on it and eating it with gluten-free crackers pretty much every day for about 2 weeks, and then it stopped, and I really haven't had it since. But I was finding myself getting, more and more into these little binges, even though I managed to stop it and kind of, eat better for a while. The for a while was getting a shorter and shorter time frame, which again is why I decided I needed to do a reset. Okay, now what I did stop, which I want to start again, I stopped paying attention to how much protein I was eating in my meals. And I think that could be a big reason why I was finding these cravings and these sugar cravings more and more frequent. I feel like you really need to add, good healthy proteins in your meals. They tend to satiate you longer. And I really feel when I have a chicken sandwich, actually a chicken lettuce wrap. I'm not doing the bread, but right now I'm doing a chicken, just a chicken breast with tomato, pickles, and, wrapped up in a lettuce for lunch. It really does stop any sugar cravings for me. So I really think that the protein really helps with the sugar. So I do need to eat more protein, which is another reason why I want to why I started a healthy eating program. Also, I stopped walking. I was walking 4 miles a day for over 6 months. And I like to walk. I was walking at 5 in the morning when the sun was coming up. It would take me about an hour and 15 minutes to do my 4 miles, get home, have a cup of coffee, take a shower, and then it's still 7 a.m. And I like to do things like film my YouTube videos and all that in the morning. So I preferred to get my walks out of the way in the morning. Plus, it also cleared my head, or I would think about what I was going to say in my YouTube videos. I found I did a lot of thinking on those walks, or I would listen to a book on tape, and I only allowed myself to listen to that book on that walk. So it kept me looking forward to the next day to get that next hour of that book. But once the sun started rising later, my justification was, one, it was cold. It was really cold at 7 in the morning, and I know Arizona, cold is 50 or 40 degrees in the morning, but, it was cold for me, and I just got lazy. I was like, well, I'd rather just get up, take a shower, and start working on my YouTube videos than do that walk, because by the time I showered and did everything, it would be like 10 in the morning. And it wasn't like I had these really busy days that I couldn't just film at 10 in the morning, but that's why I got out of walking. Now, since I've been back here in Florida, I have been walking a couple of nights a week with a girlfriend. I'm getting my 10,000 steps. I don't know if it's exactly 4-mile walks. And I've also started walking a little bit more on the beach. And if I don't feel like doing the full 2 miles out, 2 miles back, and only walk 15 minutes out and 15 minutes back, I'm telling myself that's enough. It's better to do some than nothing. So when I get back to when I get back to Arizona at the end of this month, I will be able to walk at 5 a.m. again. And I'm actually really looking forward to that and doing my daily walks. But I am trying to incorporate shorter walks or late night walks or whatever movement I can. But I've only been doing that for, the last month or so. So I think I went 4 or 5 months not walking at all. And I also stopped preparing healthy snacks. For again, 6, 7 months, maybe 8 months, I had these date nut balls on my counter all the time. So when I did get a hankering for something sweet, I could have a date nut ball, and they're really sweet, and it would just kind of satisfy that sweet tooth. But I stopped making them. I got tired of having date nut balls every day, and so I didn't have any alternative. And so that's when I think I started falling off the wagon a little bit more with the sugar by not having an alternative to processed sugar. I mean, I will do some honey, I will do some natural maple syrup, not that much, and I do eat a lot of fruit, and so that's a lot of natural sugars. But it really was the processed sugar that was really addicting to me, the desserts, the pastries, and things like that. So where am I now? I told you the things that I've been doing for the last year that have been fairly easy for me to continue with, and then the things that I stopped doing that I still think are very important for me to add again. So for me, I need a set program to really do a reset and go all in. And I am not good at just saying, I'm just going to make a clean break. I'm just going to start eating healthy again. I need a plan, I need a program, and I need something that has some check-ins so it keeps me on track. I picked the MegaEnergy Breakthrough. It is run by two nutritionists, Stephanie, who is a certified nutrition consultant and holistic health practitioner, and Jane is a registered dietitian and nutritionist. They have years of experience working with clients together to help them achieve their health and wellness goals. They also specialize in women over 50 and women in menopause. In fact, this is not their only program on their website. They have other programs that are dealing specifically with getting healthy on menopause. And they even have just a recipes section. So if you wanted to just check out some of the recipes, you will find those on their website. They also have some blog posts and tips and things like that if you just wanted to go visit them. With this program, you get an introduction video, you get plenty of downloadables, you get their introductory guide, their daily protocol with tips and strategies to help you, like if you're eating out, like a list of foods to avoid, a list of foods to snack on that you can eat, just in a real simple 16-page guide. I actually look over this quite frequently because it just kind of keeps me motivated during the day or while I'm going through this program. You get some, like I said, some menus. You get some busy day at a glance menus, which I like. It's just a real simple breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you can make, just in a few minutes. And I've actually been using that a lot. And then they have a big recipe guide. And these recipes sound so good, but I tend to fixate on 1 or 2 recipes. And if I make it and it's good, then that's what I continue to make, because it's just easier for me to fix if I already know how to make it in my mind. So right now the plan is on sale for $97, and it is on sale through the end of May. Make sure you go to my link to get that special pricing, or you can go to nourishinggurus.com and go to their programs, and you'll see the MegaEnergy Breakthrough there. I did just Google MegaEnergy Breakthrough earlier in the week, and it took me to some random page. It's not connected to the website anymore. It did have the program, but it's not on sale. So if you're looking at it or just looking to see what's on their website, and it's not on sale, then you just want to make sure you go to the nourishinggurus.com website. So 1 year later, as I am approaching 56 this summer, I have reset my healthy eating habits. I am determined to get back into daily walking. I'm feeling better. I'm sleeping better. I still have more energy than I did 5 years ago. And I feel good about taking care of my body. So I think that the annual reset is probably going to be something that I continue to do for the rest of my life because it keeps me from swaying off track. So I hope you're enjoying this update on how I lost weight. I'm keeping it off during menopause, and maybe it will encourage you to do the same or take some of the same steps. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.